Okay, welcome back. Look at that rupee go. I think just 5 paise off the 83 level and 0.75% in terms of weakness is what we have. We have a money market veteran, Lakshmi Iyer, joining us now of Kotak Mahindra Asset Management Company. Lakshmi, any clues what's going on?
Hi. Actually, if you see from a relative performance basis, rupee has been holding in general pretty strong. If you compare it vis-a-vis, of course, the dollar, or for that matter, compared to most of the other currencies, including emerging market as well as developed market currencies. So some bit of a catching up game, which we've been discussing for quite some time, is also happening at the current juncture. So that catch-up game is probably leading to some of those knee-jerk, apart from the fact that, FPIs have been month-to-date so far net sellers. And they were, of course, sellers last month also.
Anything today, Lakshmi, anything today to explain this sudden move? It's all happening in the last 30 minutes.
Yeah. So I'm saying that it's been happening in spurts. So something happened a couple of days back, then there's suddenly something happening right now. So if it's a matter of intervention, if there is some intervention, there is, suddenly that kind of an anchor that the rupee gets. And if that doesn't happen, suddenly you see this kind of a slide. Some bit of, offshore intervention also might be happening. Some positions being squared off in the offshore markets, which we need to check. It's a combination of all these factors, which is actually leading to this knee-jerk reaction on the rupee.
Lakshmi, two-part question. One, if you could tell us what has been the performance or the movement that we've seen in other emerging market currencies, just to understand whether, India is just playing a catch-up or we've seen weakness across the board today in other currencies. And secondly, what's the sense that you get from the RBI? They were trying to hold up the rupee, but do you think now in spurts they're going to let go and India will play catch-up all the way down?
So, does the central banker really have a target on the rupee? Our sense and our assumption is it's pretty explicit no, implied could be something else. That's number one. Number two is even as we speak right now, from an emerging pack perspective, the rupee has been faring, even after today's, depreciation, it's been faring reasonably well. Most of the currencies are holding fort right now because they've already seen a reasonable downside, even in the recent past. So that bit of catch-up, as I mentioned even earlier on in one of your interviews, I think will still take some more time to go, and you will start seeing in spurts. 79.80 was a very strong psychological level. Once that is broken, you were kind of settling in at around 82, and then probably now we are closely and gradually headed towards the 83 mark. Also, you also need to note that we are gradually dwindling on the foreign exchange reserves. Now, that number also is equally important to track in terms of how much of anchoring you can do at various levels on the currency.
Okay, all right. Lakshmi, thanks so much for joining in and filling us in with those.